discussing the Form 2 initial training. So without further ado, let's get started. So in today's overview, we're going to be talking about the purpose, the background, Form 2 overview, proficiency levels, practical application, and some key takeaways for this form. Now, the purpose behind this form is sirs and cadets serving leadership roles of their execution of the foundational competencies. Something that you guys might be a little bit familiar with in terms of being masters in understanding the fundamentals leads to competency, right? This is the same style and objective that you're trying to approach. All these tasks should be evaluated at the basic or intermediate standard of proficiency based on the cadet's development level. There are some major areas. So we have professionalism, communication, war fighting, leadership, mission execution, and then which contains some areas like Air Force and Space Force foundational competencies. Now, the form right now may look confusing. There's a bunch of numbers, names, etc., right? But we're just going to break it down one by one. So this Form 2 was actually utilized in Field Training 2024 and replaced the old Field Leadership Evaluation Form. This is part of our Lead Lab curriculum. And now the Form 2 should be used for evaluating a cadet's proficiency as a leader when giving a specific task, mission, or objective, primarily used for GLPs. It can be used as a feedback tool as well for any leadership roles. However, it is best suited for assessing proficiency during shorter activities such as group leadership projects, as mentioned, and mission command experiences. Now, for the Form 2 overview, for the front part, sections A and B must be completed. You have things like name, flight instructor, class number, etc. What's not used, you need blank. You have United States Air Force or Space Force. You have your class, either basic cadet or basic cadet leader. Other, you leave blank as well. And the situation refers to the event that is being evaluated on. Now, in terms of the execution, these are only used for comments regarding cadet performance evaluation. It's mandatory if it does not meet -1 marks or given or failures in the leader of character section. Now in the front view, you'll see all these numbers. On the right side, the form has the officer leadership attributes, the OLAs, broken down by airman and guardian competencies. A minimum of 2 sub-competencies should be evaluated per section. So you can see that right here. There are 3 columns on the right side. NO, which is right here, not observed. When a sub-competency is not observed during evaluation, the score will be 0. So there's going to be times where all these right here are not going to be used, and that's okay. And that's the point of that section. -1 is used when a sub-competency is not demonstrated at the appropriate proficiency level, and then the +1 is used when the sub-competency is demonstrated at the appropriate proficiency level, which can be found right here. -1 and then the +1 right here. Each competency will receive a score from the 5 sub-competencies that fall under or equal to -1, 0, or +1, which you can see right here. The box right here is the total, but you can see where you put in the scores right here that come from each section. And OLA total for each competency will be attained by adding the number of 0, -1s, and +1s in each category. The competency scores are then tailored for the overall score. Cadets are required to score a +1 or higher to pass the evaluation. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now on here, the final section of the front of the Form 2 can be found below the OLA competency score area. Traits of the leader of character section are pass and fail. The default grade for each area is pass unless the cadet being evaluated demonstrates obvious behaviors counter to that trait. For example, if the cadet being evaluated berates a teammate or does not address a subordinate who aggressively demeans someone, the evaluatee may earn a failure. A leader who willfully does not attempt to exceed the bare minimums without justification may also earn a failure. A failure in any of these 3 areas is an automatic failure of the entire assessment. Below that is a grading key for the sub-competencies. The final items are for spot for both the cadet and evaluator to sign. The signature from the cadet doesn't mean they agree or disagree with the evaluation rating, just that the evaluation took place. Cadet refusal to sign does not invalidate the evaluation. Now in the back provides instructions and screenshots to assist with the grading if anybody gets lost. And then these are the basic proficiency levels guidelines. So, as you can see in the front, you see the subcategories, for example, communication, C1. Then if you come right here, you can see kind of like a description of what communication, what they're kind of looking for in that area. Conveys information clearly and concisely to team members, uses pictures to communicate what words can't clearly convey. So things in that nature that falls under that category is a cheat sheet to help you guys evaluate and make it more streamlined across everybody. For this, the basic competency level should sustain the application of competency over time and demonstrate influence across individuals and among peers. Examples of observable behaviors are found for each competency. And then it gives a little example right there. Now for intermediate proficiency level, they just added some things and different descriptions for that. Should sustain the application of the competency over time in a variety of situations and demonstrate influence across work center and at the tactical level. So for this example, demonstrates perseverance and promotes autonomy under the competency of professionalism, will display commitment to achieving difficult work goals and challenging environments and can overcome setbacks in order to achieve goals. So to refresh the practical application grading, we have professionalism, communication, warfighting, leadership, and mission execution. Some key takeaways. So this is used to evaluate a leader when given a specific task, mission, or objective. Ensure that you evaluate at the appropriate proficiency level for the cadet. Not all sub-competencies will be observed during every single situation. And then the instructors, evaluators, have the flexibility to determine which behaviors they see during evaluation. Of course, this is going to vary from evaluator to evaluator. A minimum of 2 sub-competencies should be evaluated per section. And then when something is not observed, it should be marked as NO and not -1. This concludes my briefing. Well, not my briefing, their briefing. Are there any questions? Okay, so now we're going to take this and apply it to action now. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you a video pertaining to a GOP, and then you guys are going to evaluate their leadership, right? So you're going to use your best judgment, you're going to use the form, and then you're going to fill it out as the video goes, and then we'll see, and we'll compare with the neighbor next to you and see why you chose that, why you didn't, and go from there. Okay? So does everybody have a piece of paper, the Form 2, and pen?